I too want to thank our witnesses for being here today. The USMCA expanded market access for U.S. agriculture, including for products and animal byproducts that do not hold the same level of demand in domestic markets. Mr. Harrington, to what extent do these export opportunities contribute to profitability and efficiency for producers and ag businesses, and what would the economic consequences be if these markets were reduced or lost?
Thank you very much, Congressman. In a word, if we lost these benefits, it would be devastating to American agriculture and specifically the producers, processors, growers, and farmers. Starting with the fact that more than a third of U.S. agricultural exports go to Canada and Mexico. Beyond that, what we've seen, what duty-free trade and the certainty of the agreement have provided are these incredibly integrated supply chains that are producing opportunities for producers and growers and farmers and processors in this country based on intercompany trade from Canada, complementary trade from Mexico. These create, and we have a lot of partners, especially in the American Southwest, which will talk about the jobs that these create in the U.S. That complementary trade with Mexico creates tens of thousands of jobs. Same thing on Canada because of the degree of intercompany trade being so strong and those supply chains being so strong. So absolutely, I mean, your question goes right to the fundamental importance of preserving this agreement, because it would be very damaging if it were to go away.
Mr. Shump, do you want to touch on that from the livestock perspective, selling those pieces and parts and interesting things?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that question, Congressman. So as I mentioned in my opening testimony, trade with Canada and Mexico return at $91 per head for cattle producers and $28 for our pork producers. So maintaining that trade is critical from that perspective. But we also export to Canada and Mexico high value cuts, and as well as processed products in terms of our pork industry to Canada, and variety meats to Mexico that don't often find demand in other markets. And all of that maximizes carcass value for our producers. The one other thing I wanted to mention on this is there's the unintended consequence of leaving USMCA is that Canada and Mexico might then look to other trading partners and increase their own processing capacity that would hurt and harm our producers, workers, as well as consumers in the long run.
In my part of Oklahoma, the cattle industry is playing a key role in offsetting poor commodity prices and helping many of my constituents remain operational. So how does the USMCA contribute to the profitability and efficiency for producers? Continuing with your last point.
So the agreement, like I said, it helps to maintain strong livestock trade across North America. And so if we were to leave that agreement, what we would see is that trade disrupted, Canada and Mexico keeping more of their livestock within their countries, as well as our producers not being able to run at full capacity here within the U.S. You know, some of the livestock we get from Mexico and Canada go for feeding operations or direct slaughter, and so we would see areas of the country not be able to have feedlots operate at their full capacity, as well as our meat companies would struggle to have that stable supply of consistent animals to the produced food that is sent both here to consumers and exported around the world.
Switching gears, Ms. Beyer, your testimony mentioned the importance of the biotechnology provisions of the USMCA. What do these provisions mean for farmers when investing in new soybean varieties?
Thank you for the question. It takes, we've been told, 13 years for a trait to be identified and to end up as a seed on a farm. And so the pipeline for the development of technology is always a decade old. And that has to do with our regulatory standards, our safety standards in the U.S. USMCA helps us capitalize on some of those efficiencies between the countries, so we're not stacking those sorts of processes, that we can recognize each other's efforts in that. And then also it contains commitment to finding pathways for new technology, so that that doesn't get bogged down by politics or rhetoric, that we have a commitment to make sure that we're continuing to work on regulating new traits as well.
Thank you.